first thing is that when you set ground rules, you have to also set who before what. What that's going to mean, I'm going to show you, is who is involved in the structured mediation session and who's not involved. Oftentimes we talk about the goal of treatment before we talk about who should be involved. And in this case, the who was both biological parents and the step parents. And then I'm going to negotiate the need for the grandparents, but I have to have a quick victory with the primary caregivers to earn trust and street credibility before I can push more of who are we missing to make this a better working relationship. Then I have a preset and written agenda. This is really important because difficult divorced people do not have clear boundaries. So you have to artificially inseminate these as role models so that they can start to have clear boundaries. With this special treatment population, clear boundaries are often out the window. And you must be in charge. In some cases, in some contexts, you do not want to be in charge. You want to take a one-down position with high empathic responses like Carl Rogers, but the context requires that you change roles and you must be in charge. So as you're listening today, we're going to collect your comments or questions. So just put anything you want in the chat bar, as Bradley will collect them at the end. So your reaction to this. So let's look at this. I email this to them ahead of time. I tell them it's coming. I establish the ground rules, and we're going to go over it at the beginning of the session. And then I'm going to ask them to filter everything through me, because remember, if I ask these people to start talking to each other, I can lose control of the session because they're not ready to talk to each other. They barely have a good working relationship, although we are surprised, and Tawan is shocked, that they actually are more workable than we first were led to believe. I'm going to talk about that sometimes and why that is. Your reframe has to constantly be, it's all about the child and their well-being and not about you. So every time they get off topic, like let's talk about visitation, maybe that's involved in a mediation session, or they talk about their past relationship or stuff that goes on bunny trails, I stick and move and stop them and say, before they get too far down the bunny trail and say things that will stir up the other person, I say, remember why we're here. Why are we here? It's about who? And I ask them to finish the question, Dylan. It's not about us. It's about Dylan and his well-being. And the last one is you've got to have a workable, solution. You got to find what is it? What is the workable topic? What's the end in mind? And you got to say to the couple, I'm going to start out by saying my theory of change. Everybody has a theory of change, and you're going to listen to the video how that settles them down. I even challenge them. I say, is my why or theory of change the same as yours? And I'm going to stop the tape and pause and say, this is a micro step that you want to add to your tool belt. And then I use scaling, another micro step. I say, scale 1 to 5, what is your working relationship? Because it tells me how hard I have to work, but it's also solution focused by saying to them, what do we got to do to go from a 1 to a 2 or 2 to 3? Or I'll even say, how come it's not at a negative number? Anything positive I want to work from. The workable topic is this. We have to reorganize, and we have to have a better working relationship with one another, because even though you're not married or together, you still have the issue of being parents, and you still have to have clarity of roles, boundaries, communication, visitation, etc.